My wife asked me to build a backyard stage for her divorce party. I thought she was joking until her family arrived with balloons that said finally free. I served them champagne, smiled, and left. Yesterday, her brother was outside my office, crying, screaming, "Please answer," into my voicemail. She popped a balloon with a heel and said, "To freedom." That was the first thing I heard as I came back outside carrying the third bottle of champagne. One of those tacky helium balloons was rolling across the grass. It said, "Bye, loser." My mother-in-law was laughing like it was her wedding day, and my wife, sorry, ex-wife, I guess, was standing on the little plywood platform I built with my own damn hands, holding a microphone she'd bought just to toast the occasion. To be clear, she said it was a joke. The stage, the lights, the banner. I asked her, "Is this a party for real?" And she said, "Just a post-divorce get-together. Don't be dramatic." Then her sister showed up in a tiara that said Bride of Independence, and I realized, nah, this wasn't a joke. They even had a PowerPoint ready, titled How I Survived the Worst 5 Years of My Life, with photos of me. I think I knew the moment she asked me to keep the backyard clean. That whole week she was unusually nice. Even brought me lunch once while I was working from home, sandwich, chips, and a handwritten note that said almost free. She claimed it was a joke then too. Now I understand. That note? That was for her, not me. She told her family everything. Or her version of everything. I was apparently a boring, emotionally stunted, sexually frigid buzzkill. That's how she phrased it on stage. I felt like I was married to a piece of drywall with trust issues and a porn addiction. I was 2 feet away, standing beside the damn champagne cooler. And everyone laughed. Even her father. The man who once asked me to watch over his little girl. He laughed so hard he cried. Said, "I always knew you were too quiet." That's how it starts. That word sat in my skull like a termite. What starts? So I poured the champagne. Smiled. Toasted with them when they handed me a glass. Said, "To freedom," right along with everyone else. Then I left. Quietly. No slamming doors. Just turned, walked through the side gate, and got in my car. I didn't drive home. I drove to a Target parking lot 3 towns over and sat there for 5 hours. I missed 47 calls. Most from her. One from her new boyfriend. Yes, I found that out too. She'd invited him. Apparently, he was the one filming her speech. He was the one who helped her edit the PowerPoint. But it gets worse. Way worse. Because yesterday, her brother showed up at my office. I saw him from the break room window. He was pacing outside like he'd just watched a car crash. Then he started screaming into his phone. "Please answer. Please answer. You don't understand, you have to tell him, he doesn't know." That's when I noticed the voicemail alert. 6 new messages. The first was from my best friend. His voice was shaking. The second was from my bank. The third was my ex-boss, who I haven't spoken to in 2 years. The fourth was a blocked number, whispering. The fifth was her sister. And the sixth was from her. Just 5 words, whispered like they were being recorded. "Please don't open the envelope." What envelope? I haven't found it yet. But something tells me I already have it. Somewhere. And it's going to make everything worse. Update 1. I found the envelope in the toolbox. Not a drawer. Not under the bed. Not even somewhere dramatic like a safety deposit box or taped behind a mirror. No. It was in the damn toolbox. Buried under drill bits, duct tape, and a wrench I haven't touched since she said she liked guys who worked with their hands. It was labeled in her handwriting. All caps. Sharpie. Just one word. Forgiveness. I almost didn't open it. Stood there with it in my palm, shaking like it was wired with C4. Then I remembered her brother. The voicemails. The screaming. And I peeled it open. Inside, 8 photos. 2 handwritten letters. 1 USB drive. And a note in a different handwriting, blockier, panicked. "If he ever finds out, burn this." It wasn't addressed to me. The first photo was from our wedding. The second? A photo of me shirtless, asleep, in bed. Timestamped 2 months before the divorce. The third, that same photo photoshopped. My eyes open. My face twisted into something grotesque. The rest? I can't even describe them without shaking. I'm talking pictures that could end lives. Blackmail grade. One of her sister. One of a cop I know from the gym. One of her boss, who I once shook hands with at a charity dinner. Every one of them with her. Doing things. Coordinated things. This wasn't just cheating. This was ritualistic. I loaded the USB drive on my work laptop. I shouldn't have, but I had to know. It was footage. Audio recordings. Voice memos labeled Stage 1 through Stage 5. Stage 1, get him isolated. Stage 2, gaslight the finances. Stage 3, leak the breakdown story. Stage 4, involve family in public humiliation. Stage 5, drop the reckoning package. Reckoning. That word chilled me. Because there was no Stage 6. Just static. The voice was hers. Calm. Clinical. Almost proud. Like she was recording a tutorial for sociopaths. I closed the laptop. Just sat there for a full hour. And then I started to laugh. Because suddenly it made sense. The divorce party. The microphone. The photos. The fact that her new boyfriend was the AV guy from her college's theater department. The stage was never metaphorical. She'd been staging everything. Every fight we had? Practiced. Every apology? Rehearsed. She never just wanted to leave. She wanted a finale. But the joke's on her. Because I'm not the man she planned for. I went dark that night. No calls. No texts. I walked into the mountains. Slept in my car. Sat under the stars with a burner phone and called one number, my old boss, the one who left the voicemail. The guy I hadn't spoken to in years. He picked up on the first ring. I knew you'd find it, he said. No hello. No confusion. Just that. I kept the files, he said. From before. You're not the first. What? I whispered. She's done this before. Different names. Different states. Different setups. She builds the same trap. Always ends in fire. My heart stopped. Fire. He told me about the cabin. About a man named Caleb who disappeared in 2017. About a series of insurance claims tied to women with aliases that matched fragments of her middle names. Then he sent me a folder. And there she was. Blonde in one. Brunette in another. Glasses. No glasses. Sometimes with a dog. Sometimes a child. But always the same smile. The one she used at our wedding. That was last night. Today? I came home to find my front door open. No signs of a break-in. No alarms triggered. But something was missing. The envelope. Gone. And my neighbor said he saw her sister leaving my place. Laughing. Edit 1 to everyone asking, yes, I have backups of the drive. I've got 3 copies now. 1 in a safe deposit box. 1 with my old boss. And 1 I've sent to a lawyer friend. Edit 2, she called again. This time she didn't speak. Just left 90 seconds of audio. Breathing. Then whispering. Then the sound of something burning? Edit 3, her brother hasn't stopped texting. Said he never knew what she was capable of. Said if I don't respond, someone else will get hurt. Update 2. There's a reason I've always avoided cop shows. They make it look too clean. Like justice is something you can wrap in an hour. That if you cry hard enough or yell loud enough, someone fixes it for you. What they don't show you. The moment you realize the police aren't coming to save you. They're coming to check on her. Because when the knock hit my door at 7:42 a.m., I wasn't half awake. I was ready. I'd been sitting at my kitchen table with a cup of gas station coffee and my laptop open to a folder labeled Stage 6. The one I'd started building myself. I opened the door to 2 officers. One older, one baby-faced. The younger one looked like he shaved once a month and wore deodorant like cologne. They didn't ask if I was okay. They asked if my ex-wife was. Apparently, she filed a report. Said I'd been harassing her. Said she was concerned for her safety. Said she feared escalation. I laughed. Right in their faces. Not the smartest move, maybe, but what else do you do when reality punches through the floor and keeps falling? Then I showed them the footage. I handed over a flash drive. No, I didn't give them the full set. Just enough to raise eyebrows. The audio logs. The planning documents. One of the photos from the envelope, the one with her and her boss, timestamped 3 months before our marriage ended. They didn't say much. They just took the drive and asked if I owned any firearms. I told them no. Which was true. Not because I'm noble. Because I'm paranoid enough to know how that gets spun. They left with thin smiles and a warning, don't escalate things, Mr. Crane. Escalate. As if I'd built a stage in the backyard and invited a man to film my humiliation. As if I'd passed out congratulations on your trauma balloons and given a speech about how the love of my life was essentially a low-income parasite. She actually said that. I saw it in a text she sent to her sister. She was talking about me, my job, my life. So yeah, I escalated. I called her brother. He didn't answer. But I left a voicemail. Meet me where it happened. 1 hour. No lies. And to his credit, he showed. We met in the community park. Same one we used to take her niece to when she still pretended she wanted a future with me. Same bench where she told me we should start over last year. Said we should go to therapy. That she still believed in us. I sat there for 15 minutes before I saw him. He looked like death reheated. Like a man who hadn't slept since the party. Eyes hollow. Cheeks drawn. Hair matted with sweat. I didn't know, he said. First thing out of his mouth. You were at the party, I said. I thought it was a joke. I thought you were in on it. Until I saw the photos. Until I found her, He stopped. I waited. Then he handed me a phone. Not his. Hers. Unlocked. The texts were still there. From her. To someone named M. At first, I thought it was the new boyfriend. But the tone was wrong. Too formal. Too distant. Then I read the messages. Package is secure. Stage 6 confirmed. Paperwork ready. Are we clear to proceed with medical narrative? And the worst one. He suspects nothing. He's too docile. Should be easy to redirect guilt onto him. Medical narrative. I looked at her brother. What the hell is stage 6? He didn't answer. Just handed me an envelope. Not the original. Another one. This one said grief. Inside? A forged psychiatric report. My name. My history. A fabricated diagnosis. Aggressive paranoid delusions. Emotional dysregulation. History of violent ideation. It was signed by a doctor I'd never met. She was building a paper trail. One she could show the cops, the court, the next man. One that said I was the danger. I sat back. Breath gone. Her brother finally said it. She was going to get you committed. I just stared at him. She's done it before, he added. I didn't want to believe it. But I found the settlement. Some guy in Arizona. Sealed documents. He signed an NDA. Took $80,000 to drop everything. His family thought he ran off. He didn't. He got locked up. Twice. That's when I told him what I'd done. I showed him my phone. The email draft timed to release in 24 hours. Sent to every major media outlet. With everything. Photos. Documents. Audio. Legal notes. Witness statements. A list of names I'd collected through public records, LinkedIn, social media trails. Every ex she had. Every person with a restraining order. Every former coworker who mysteriously left. I'm not trying to ruin her, I said. I'm trying to keep someone from ending up like me. Or worse. He just nodded. No argument. No defense. His hands were shaking. And then he said something that still echoes. You should run. I didn't answer. Because deep down I knew it. She wasn't just vindictive. She was connected. And if stage 6 was institutionalization, stage 7 might be something worse. So I made a plan. I cleared out my accounts. Moved funds to crypto. Sent encrypted backups to 4 different cloud services. Gave access to a lawyer friend I'd met years ago. Bought a burner phone. Packed a bag. And this morning before the sun came up I left town. Not forever. But for now. Because when I checked my email before hitting the road, there was a message. No sender. No subject. Just one image. A photo of me. From last night. Standing at the bench with her brother. Taken from across the street. Captioned, you were never off script. Edit 1 to everyone Maying yes I'm safe. No, I won't say where. She reads Reddit too. She has fake accounts. Trust me. Edit 2 if anything happens to me the email goes out. It's rigged to send if I don't log in every 72 hours. Edit 3 there is a stage 7. I found it. Or rather her brother found it. I'll post it soon. But you're not ready. Update 3. Stage 7 wasn't a document. It was a room. Her brother took me there. Not willingly at first he said he needed time. Said his family was already watching him. That they'd notice if he disappeared too long. But then I told him about the photo. The email. The fact that someone, somewhere, was documenting my every step like this was part of some silent horror screenplay. He agreed to meet again. Told me to drive separately. Leave my phone. Wear gloves. And follow him to a self-storage facility 2 towns over. It was almost empty. Just rows of metal roll-up doors under flickering lights. We parked far apart, walked to the same unit without speaking. I expected boxes, maybe old furniture. What I saw was a set. Like, for a show. A full recreation of a living room. A couch. A coffee table. A wedding photo in a silver frame, our wedding photo but with my face swapped. His face was in it. Her brother's. And across the wall, spray-painted in looping red script, when reality fails, art begins. I stood there in silence. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't move. He didn't look at me. Just unlocked a file cabinet in the corner and pulled out a folder. Inside, scripts. Literal scripts. Dialogue. Stage directions. Voice inflections. Sections labeled projection versus truth. Page titles like Scene 1, Breakdown in the Kitchen Tuesday Night. Scene 4, Confession through Conflict, Initiate Cry Trigger. Scene 7, Disassociation Narrative Frame Regret. Each one marked with time codes. Emotional beats. Camera angles. Camera angles. Because, yeah, there were cameras. For tiny ones mounted in corners of the unit. Hidden behind vents and light fixtures. All pointed toward the couch. He said she used to practice here. Every scene. Every meltdown. Every spontaneous apology. She rehearsed them. Months in advance. My knees gave out. I sat on the floor. Couldn't process. He went on. Said it started years ago. Said she grew up on movie sets, her mother was a costume designer, her father a gaffer. She learned timing before she learned empathy. Learned performance before she learned connection. She told me once he said that emotion was a costume. Something you wear until people believe it's yours. I asked how long he knew. He said I started noticing patterns after she ruined her second engagement. That one ended with a restraining order. But he was the one arrested. There was more in that folder. Photos of another man, this one looked older, maybe in his 50s. In each picture he was smiling, unaware. Holding her hand. Cooking. Sitting on a beach. In the final photo he's being led into an ambulance. Her brother whispered that one almost died. Said she told everyone he was abusive. Said he attacked her during a mental health crisis. But there were no bruises. No police record. Just a 72-hour hold followed by silence. He was never seen again. No obituary. No social. Just gone. Then her brother handed me one final envelope. This one labeled Exit Strategy. Inside, one plane ticket. One passport. One new name. Mine. She was planning to rescue me. Stage 7 wasn't destruction. It was reinvention. A redemption arc. After publicly destroying me, after making me the face of emotional instability, the final move was to stage my healing. Fly me somewhere quiet. Keep me medicated. Isolate me. And then? Tell the world we reconciled. Because what's more powerful than a survivor? A forgiver. She wanted to rebuild me. Mold me into a puppet. A testimonial. Look what we survived. Look who I saved. But the worst part? I think she believed it would work. That if she got the narrative right, I'd thank her. Her brother looked at me with dead eyes. She's trying to win an audience that doesn't exist. That night, I drove back to the motel I'd been using as a hideout. Windows covered. Lights off. I tried to sleep, but every creak felt like a cue. Every sound outside like applause. The next morning, the voicemail came. From her. No panic. No tears. Just a calm, cold voice. I think you've been very brave. But you've misunderstood the story. This was never about hurting you. It was about completing the arc. You were supposed to disappear, not react. But we can still fix it. I can still write us better. Then she hung up. 10 seconds later, a text arrived. Just a photo. Me. Sleeping. Taken hours earlier. In that motel room. From outside the window. I checked the lock. Still bolted. But that's the thing about locks. They only work on people who believe in rules. I left immediately. Didn't pack. Didn't check out. Just left. Now I'm writing this from a gas station bathroom in the middle of nowhere. Burner phone in one hand, my entire life stuffed in a duffel bag in the other. I don't know where I'm going. But I know this. She's not finished. And neither am I. Edit 1. Yes, I've contacted a lawyer. No, law enforcement hasn't done much. Without tangible threats, it's just relationship fallout. They don't care about scripting abuse. Edit 2. Her brother has gone dark. No response in 36 hours. I'm afraid something happened. Edit 3. The original Stage 7 draft was found on a hard drive labeled Redemption Arc V4. It ends with a wedding. Not a metaphor. An actual wedding. Final update. They found his car at the bottom of the quarry. Her brother. Jacob. Engine still running. Headlights shattered. Trunk wide open. But he wasn't in it. The cops told the press it was likely a suicide attempt interrupted. They found blood. Not much. Not enough to declare him dead. Just enough to turn the headlines from missing to unstable. They didn't find his phone. I did. 3 days ago, I got a package delivered to the P.O. box I'd set up under a fake name in a remote town. No return address. Just a torn piece of an old movie poster taped to the front. The poster was gaslight. Inside, a single burner phone, powered off. I charged it. Scanned for bugs. No SIM. But there was one saved audio file. The timestamp matched the night before the quarry. The voice was frantic. Not his. Hers. I told you he wasn't ready. I told you Stage 7 was a stretch. You said it'd be cathartic. It's not. He's improvising. He's off script, Jacob. He's off script and he's getting popular. People are believing him. He was supposed to fade, not trend. Click. That was it. No context. No follow-up. But the metadata in the file said everything. GPS coordinates. Cell tower pings. An address. Somewhere in New Mexico. I drove 12 hours straight. Desert roads. No lights. A busted radio spitting static and old gospel stations like ghosts trying to sing. The house was a single-story adobe structure behind a gate with fake cameras. Solar-powered. Off-grid. Too normal to be normal. I parked half a mile away. Walked with my phone off, face covered, gloves on. The door was unlocked. Because of course it was. She wanted me to enter. The living room looked like someone tried to recreate a memory. Our old couch. Our old blanket. That same ugly lamp I always hated but she said tied the room together. Then I saw it. The wall. Covered in photos. Of me. From every phase of my life. Childhood. Graduation. Us on vacation. Us asleep. Me brushing my teeth. Me walking alone at night. But worse? Me in that motel. Me sitting in the park. Me standing in front of Jacob's storage unit. She'd been documenting my story. Not hers. Mine. Because in her head I was the antagonist she needed to redeem. A cautionary tale she could publish. And the ending? There it was. A whiteboard. With red marker. Timeline. Beat structure. Final scene, breakdown and reunion. And underneath, in quotes. He collapses, I forgive, the audience weeps. But the kicker? The very bottom had a backup. Alternate ending, fire. Next to it, a lighter. A gas can. And a printed out Reddit post. My post. This one. With comments circled. Underlined. Run. She's dangerous. Call the cops. Document everything. I didn't hear her come in. She was wearing white. Barefoot. Calm. Like we were in Act 3 of some terrible community theater show. I knew you'd find it, she said. Just like her brother said. Just like my old boss. Because she wrote their lines too. I didn't say a word. I was afraid anything I said would get turned into a scene. So I let her talk. She said I ruined everything. Said the audience was supposed to empathize. That people don't root for bitterness, they root for rebirth. That I was off-brand. That I hijacked the script. I asked her where Jacob was. She smiled. Not cruel. Almost sad. Sometimes characters write themselves out. I asked if he was dead. She looked past me. Eyes unfocused. He didn't want to be the villain anymore. I didn't stop him. Maybe that was my fault. Maybe I wrote him wrong. Then she sat down. Right there on the floor. Cross-legged. Hands in her lap. I'll give you the rights back, she said. What? To your story. You want it? Take it. Post the ending. Make me the monster. Win the audience. Get the closure. She reached into her pocket. I flinched. But it was just a flash drive. She rolled it across the floor. I picked it up. One folder. Labeled confession. Every script. Every audio file. Every version. Unedited. Unsanitized. I asked why. She said, because I can't win anymore. Then she pointed to the whiteboard. End it how you want. Just make it poetic. I left her there. Didn't call the cops. Didn't burn it down. Didn't scream. I walked back into the desert and didn't look back. Because the truth? You don't defeat people like her. You survive them. And then you tell their story louder than they ever could. Edit. I've submitted the contents of the drive to a journalist. An actual one. She's investigating now. There are more victims. More scripts. More survivors who never got to post. Jacob's body hasn't been found. But I know where his story ends. And mine? It doesn't. It just goes dark. Like the stage lights after the last line. Like a camera that keeps rolling after everyone's gone. Fade to black. No applause.